Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you for joining us.
Good to
We're
see you.
we're going to start having people log on to watch this very exciting episode of our third Serger Club. Um, we're really enjoying doing this, right, Nivia?
Oh, we're having so much fun.
Yeah, and you know what? It's making us learn the machines too,
Mhm.
and we're just having a blast, and we're loving that we're able to communicate with you, and you can see us from home, and you don't have to come in. So that's a huge plus for you and for us too, because we had a lot of people this morning join us in our classroom, but we are going to share the same information with you at home, and we hope you enjoy it.
And we're
So,
going to work with the best machines available, the
yes,
Sergers,
you can.
BabyLock. So,
Yeah, we
yeah.
have the machines lined up here in all their glory. We're just going to wait just 2 more minutes. People are logging on to see us. And as you look at the lineup, you'll notice that we have a new addition to our lineup. And that's one of the reasons why we are just thrilled, honestly, just thrilled to have and also very surprised at that BabyLock has come out with a new serger, because having the Triumph in the line and the Euphoria, you would think that what more can they do? What more can they add to the line? And oh my gosh, the Applaud is here, and it's like, wow, it's crazy good. I mean, it's so much fun. Of course, we've only had it in the store for a few days, so we're learning how to use it, but it's so easy to use, right, Nivia?
Easy to
It's,
use and works fine all the time.
yeah, it's like so easy. You can literally sit down, and within 15 minutes, you can have it threaded, and you could be having fun using your wiper system with heavy threads and decorating your project. So we are really wowed by it, as is, I think, the whole country.
Mhm.
Um, it's really fun. And of course, any of you that know me or our machine department, the girls in the machine department, know that we love to be creative. And we have at our fingertips, lucky for us, a lot of fabric, a lot of trims, a lot of threads. So, oh my gosh, we went to work right away. So now remember, for watching, if you're watching and you want to shop online, that you do get 15% off. I think online now we have the code. So regular price fabrics and notions, the code is Serger15. So make sure you take a look at our website, sewing.net. We also have new bag kits on there. And talking about bags, I think I'll start out this presentation by showing you some samples. I don't have a lot because we've just started playing with this machine, but I just made this bag.
It's beautiful, beautiful, Pat.
So
Beautiful. Mhm.
I don't know if, okay, there we go. So you can see that I decorated the pocket with, we're trying to get a better shot. Oops, sorry. I guess I can't talk and show at the same time. So you can see that on the webbing, I did this on the Applaud, the decorative stitching, the webbing, I used the chain stitch. And then for my quilting, I used the chain stitch. So that was a lot of fun. And then I have another sample here. Let's show this one. I had a lot of fun with this. So you can see lots of decorative stitches. This is all done on the Applaud, except for this is my flat lock
Flat lock.
stitch.
Mhm.
So yes, so I used yarns, I used cord. Let me show you what I used. I used this yarn, which is here with the Applaud. And also I used this cord. So this is like, I think it's like a for crocheting or something. It's just 100% cotton. It's really soft. I bought it like in a craft store. I just thought, oh, that's kind of nice. Someday I'll use it. And out comes the applaud. So I was ready for it. So again, this one is on my sample. Okay, I have another couple of samples and then we're going to get started. If you don't mind, just put that back there. We have this really, really nice little bag that was a BabyLock project up at BabyLock Tech. So this is a great sampler for the stitches, the decorative stitches with the new wiper foot. Can you see there's a lot of variation you can do? You can use variegated threads. So it's a nice little bag. Okay, so that's another sample. And then I just have a couple more things I want to show you so you have a good idea. Playing around again, I did this with decorative thread. I thought this was kind of cool. I cover stitched, use the decorative cover stitch on a striped Kaufman Essex linen.
And you changed the fabric completely.
Yes,
new look.
Completely. And honestly, I could have kept going. Every time I finished, I thought, oh, I think I'll add a few more lines. And look at how beautiful the back is. It's almost as nice as the front. Okay, and that's your looper back. Now, for you to get a better idea, we stitched out some basic samplers. So this is a straight stitch. This is cover stitch, 2 thread. And then we get into the decorative stitching that is done with the new patented dual wiper foot. And remember that this is also a cover stitch, so you can use it on Lycra. It stretches. Kind of hard to show, but so now you can do beautiful top stitching, decorative stitching on your Lycra. So I know Nivia is thrilled out of her mind.
Oh yeah, for sportswear, you can make beautiful sportswear.
Yes,
and modern with that.
So to me, it shows that BabyLock's been listening and been watching the trends, because this certainly is going along with the trends. And these are some samples done on denim. So let's go ahead and get started here, because we have a lot of information to share with you today, and I want to get down to it. So I am sitting here in front of the Euphoria and the Applaud. You might wonder, why have I got the Euphoria over here? If some of you don't know what the Euphoria is, it's a relatively new serger to the BabyLock line, and it's cover stitch only. So it's a 3-thread, 2-thread, single thread, which would be your chain stitch, cover stitch only machine. And it is a gem in the line. I have to tell you, if you have a Victory or you have a 4-thread serger and you've always wanted a cover stitch machine, this is an amazing machine, the Euphoria. And so it has a lot of nice features that I'm quickly going to cover, and then I'll step over here because you can see how similar it is to the Applaud. So I've got obviously my automatic thread delivery system, which is what one of the patents or one that BabyLock is famous for. It's the automatic thread delivery. You don't have to worry about tensions. So that's on here. What else have we got? We've got the differential feed so that I can adjust my feeding system. Opening this up, I've got my extraordinary threading. So my looper threads at the press of a button. It just blows it through. And when you have it in threading mode, which to put it in threading mode, I would just push it down there. It also has, I'll point to this over here because it's exactly the same, an independent needle threading system. So I can thread all my needles with a needle threader, which of course we love. We have to have a needle threader. So very easy. You've got your stitch length dial on the bottom there. You've got this wonderful little foot that does not work on the Triumph, if you have a Triumph, because I've had several people ask me that. And also here we have 2 dials. This is your chain, your looper tension, and this is your needle tension. And generally you're going to leave your needle tension at 0 and your loop retention between 2 and 3 for most of your sewing. And you may wonder why I thought it had no tension, this machine. You want to be able to adjust sometimes, because the beauty of these machines is that one of them is that you can use heavy decorative thread. I've gone as far down as using 8-weight thread on it, but I heard, because remember, I've just had it for a few days, that I can go up to, and I say up to, because it's the 4-weight thread, which is heavier. So a lot of possibilities for decorating. Now, so BabyLock knows that. BabyLock knows that we like to have fun, right, with our machines. So what they've done is they've brought out the Applaud. And oh my goodness, BabyLock brought out this new patented wiper foot. And you look at it and it almost could be a little intimidating, but don't let it intimidate you, because it is fabulous. And no, this question gets asked all the time. Can I use it on my Triumph? No, this foot is integrated. When you use it, it's integrated. And this is one of the differences between this and the Euphoria, into the system mechanically in here. So this foot only works on this machine. Now, this machine in the included accessories also brings the shank and the foot that comes with the Euphoria, just your basic little foot and shank. And the wonderful thing is that you can use, I believe it's 12 other feet. There are going to be some of them that are exclusive to the Applaud, but the accessories, many, I believe up to 20 of the accessories and 12 feet that BabyLock already has available for the Triumph or cover stitch, you can use on this machine. So that opens up a whole world of excitement. I mean, it's I don't know, I'm speechless. And I'm not usually speechless, but anyway, so the threading, so let me tell you the difference between the Euphoria and what they've done with this machine. We've still got our automatic thread delivery system. We have to have that. We love it. It's flawless, and it's just a dream to have. So now here I still have my chain needle tension, and I still have my needle tension here. And as I say, generally, you're going to leave this at 0 and this at 2. Of course, it comes with a threading guide that'll recommend this, but pretty much all the stitches that are recommended on this foot, these stay at the same setting. So you really don't have to mess with it. Okay, what have we got on this machine that's new? We have a speed control. Oh my God. For those of us who are heavy-footed, we need a speed control. When you're stitching and you want to be successful and have a really beautiful stitch that's consistent, you need to go at a slower speed. I mean, that's just a given. So even though you have a heavy foot, slow yourself down. So that's new. We have needle up, needle down. You see this button here? You see the green light is up. So when the needle is up, the green light is up here. When I go like this, it will take it. It's 3 stages. Now the needle is down. And if I leave the needle down position, when I stop sewing, it'll stop down. But what this also helps me to do is that it helps me to set my wipers. So I don't know if you can see here, as I move forward, my wipers are swiping across. I can take stitches by just touching my button. So can you see the wipers are opening and closing? And really what is happening is that the wipers are going like this. And when they're threaded, I don't have them threaded right now because I'm going to show you how easy it is to thread. But once I've got my 2 wiper threads threaded here, the wipers hug. That's what BabyLock is calling it. So when they hug and then they open up again, what they're doing is they're dropping decorative thread they're placing it on your project or on your fabric, and my needles, my 3 needles, are coming from behind and stitching it down. So because the thread is just being dropped on the surface, you have the ability to be able to use all kinds of thread and yarns. So super exciting. So what else is different here?
Oh, excuse me, you can use ribbon too, right?
Oh, you can use ribbon.
Right.
So let's talk about that. BabyLock has got new feet coming out. We have not received them yet, but there's going to, for those of you who are quilters out there, there's going to be a stitch in the ditch center, stitch in the ditch left, and stitch in the ditch right for stitching in the ditch with decorative stitching. Sounds funny, but you know, people are excited about that. And I am too, to be honest with you. The stitch in the ditch foot is actually quite popular. Also, what we're going to be able to do when we get them is we're going to be able to trade out this insert here. There's a clear plastic insert in here that has the needle marks. You might want to show the other. And you're going to be able to trade those out so that we are going to be able to feed ribbon, braids, different stuff through there easily. So we're going to be able to create braids. So Gabriella's put up the picture, so that little clear insert that's in there will be able to be changed out for us to be able to do even more. So yes, believe it or not, we're going to be able to do even more. And if you actually look at the spec sheet or the specs of this machine and the accessories, remember that there's a lot of accessories. So if you want to use your belt loop binder from your Triumph, you can use it. And if you look at our previous Serger Club, I did a bag where I decorated the belt loop binder. I'm excited about using this stitch. So lots of possibilities. Another thing that's important is that you can use a knee lift. So what happens when you use your knee lift, when you lift your presser foot, I'm going to show you the, well, let's see if we can get it on camera right now. I'm just going to put, so you see how the plate here is slightly raised? It's raised. So when you lift your presser foot, the feed dogs actually drop down. The feed dogs will drop down so that when I lift my presser foot and I want to put my fabric underneath there, the feed dogs will be down, so I can easily do that. So that's a huge plus. So they've really done a fabulous job on what they added, and they've been working a long time on this. I don't know how they've kept it secret for so long, but I sure didn't know about it. Yeah. They were very good at keeping it a secret. Okay, so let me just go ahead. I'm going to stitch this off. I've got it set up as a 3-thread cover stitch. I'm just going to stitch and I'm going to thread up the foot. Now, once you stitch onto your fabric, you can, when you run off the fabric, you can chain off. The stitches are already locked and formed, so to speak. So I could just keep going, and I'm going to chain off about 4 inches, and then I'm just going to go ahead and cut this.
And that's another wow from BabyLock, because not every cover stitch can do that. You have to stop right on the fabric.
Right.
But this end you can keep going.
You can chain off, and you actually look at how nice it looks on the bottom. So that's my looper thread, right? And then this is the top, and you can't see, this is just my 3-thread cover. You can't see the center one because I'm using dark green thread in my center needle. And also know that, of course, I can adjust my length. I have a stitch length dial underneath here on both the Euphoria and the Applaud, so I can adjust my length. However, it is recommended that when you're using this wonderful new foot, that you don't possibly go lower than 3 because of what the combination of what it's doing. Okay, so this is my looper thread. Let's take a look at the machine again. Looper thread, right needle, center needle, left needle. If you want to go down to 2 needles, you can. You want to go down to 1 needle, you can. It would be a chain stitch. But what we're going to look at right now is what's new. So I have 2 threads on here. I have Wonderful Spaghetti, size 12. And then I have the Dazzle. I had to look. I always call it Razzle and it's Dazzle. And I believe this one is 8 thread. So it has 2 threading guides here. One of them here is for my needle threads, and this one here is for my wiper threads. So I'm going to start by I've already clicked it in there. This is my left wiper. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to go over here, down here, and then just behind that little hook. And then I'm going to lift my presser foot. I have to use my tweezers now. You're going to take your thread and you're just going to put it through the center hole on the front here. Okay. And then I'm doing my left wiper. So I'm going to go through the hole on the left and I'm going to go from top to bottom. And I'm going to try to do it. And I did it from the side. And this is why I love these tweezers, because look at that. My favorites. Okay, so that thread goes off to that side. And then I'm going to take this thread. I'm just going to snap it in here. Now you can see here that I have a bypass, and that's if I'm using a yarn or something that's really heavy, I would put it through my bypass. So I'm just going to come around and follow the same thread path. This is actually just guiding my yarn or my thread down. So I'm going to do exactly what I did before. I'm going to go through the center hole here. And now I'm going to go off to the right because it's my right wiper. And I'm going to go through the little hole here. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do one thing, which I'm going to do right now. You need to make sure that your wipers are open. So I just open them up and I'm just going to rethread this. I wasn't paying attention because I'm talking, but it's not a big deal. I just open them up.
So the wipers have 2 positions, open or closed. That's
yes,
it.
you've got to
you need them open.
Yes, the wipers need to be open. And then there's one other thing that I haven't mentioned to you yet. I'm just going to trim my end here. Some of these threads like to splay out. Okay. I did it expertly the first time. Okay. So now I'm going to do this one. And I'm going to put that one off to the right. Now, another thing that's new down here is this here. I don't know if I can get it on. There you go. See, I have this lever. And if I want my wiper foot to work, I want my wipers to work and lay down the thread, I need to push that up. If I just want to do my cover stitch and I want to leave this foot on, if I push this down, my wipers won't work and I can just use it as a cover stitch machine. So I thought that was pretty nifty. And by the way, this is all one integrated foot that works with the mechanics of the machine up here. Remember, it does come with a shank for you to be able to add other feet to it. Okay, so now I've got my wiper threads. I need a piece of fabric. So I'm going to put my presser foot down, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by just touching my start stop button. And what you're supposed to do, and what I've been doing, and it works very well, is I take 3 or 4 stitches, bring your needles up, and then go ahead and cut your thread, because you don't, I have to lean over here a second. You don't want it to backlash and get into your stitching.
And you really have to start in the fabric at this moment.
You have to start in the fabric. And because I'm on camera, I just have to come around here 1 second. Bear with me. I'm going to stitch off. bear with me 1 second because I'm talking and I'm not, I have to, my wiper thread on the right did not go through the little hole properly. And that's why I don't like working off to one side. And this has never happened to me, but I'm just going to get it out. 1 second. I'm just going to cut it. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. I'm going to put my pressure foot down.
Yeah, you really need loose tension or no tension at all in the those threads that go through the those loopers, right? The
Now,
hugging.
I
I
don't
call
know
it the
what.
hugging holes.
Yeah, I just got to get this out.
Yeah.
I worked and worked and worked and played on this machine last night, and just when I'm on camera, I think because I dropped that lever. Okay, I'm just getting this out. You know that stuff happens when you're, okay. So I've got my foot up. I want to make sure this is coming through really nice. I'm just going to check this time. Okay, I'm going to put my presser foot up. So just, Nivia, what is it that you're going to talk about? Because I just need a second here because my needle threads came unthreaded.
Well, first of all, before I go into mine, I want to tell you that, I mean, I have one of these machines, and I've been sewing for many, many, many years and worked with different sergers and cover stitch. And just the fact that you need to adjust every thread every time you change a fabric, it takes a long time. It takes a lot of time. You know, when I change a fabric, I have to go thread by thread, changing the tensions and tweaking around till I get it right. These BabyLock machines, you don't have to do any of that. You just put your fabric in, you thread your machine, and ready to go. So it's magic. For me, it's a magical machine. And this one is huggable. So it's a lovable machine. It hugs itself, and you want to hug it too when you work on it.
I'm almost done. I'm just rethreading. You know how that is. I teach a lot of Serger classes, so it's like when somebody asks me, "Can you change my needle or something?" I go, "Sure." I do that really quickly, and then when I try to do it with someone, it's like, "Why isn't this working?" Okay, I'm using I put my machine into threading mode. I know life happens as you plan it, and then I'm going to use my needle threader to thread my needles.
It works.
And
good.
when you thread this machine, see, I came in here from doing it live in there, and I didn't check anything. But when you're threading this machine, it is important that you first of all thread your needles first. You're going to thread your needles first, and then because they go behind your decorative stitching, right? So you're going to thread your needles first, depending whether you want 1, 2, or 3 stitches. Now my thread is fraying. Okay, one more needle. Okay.
Questions I get a lot is if you can use sewing thread in your needles on your sergers on cover stitch. And I always say that of course you can. The difference between the serger thread is a serger thread is a thinner, it's a 2-ply thread, and you get more for your money, let's say that way. But yes, sewing thread you can use in the needles, especially if you do stretch materials, which I use a lot. Spandex materials, you need a good polyester strong thread in your needles. So
Okay.
yes.
So thread your needles first, because they're behind, and then you want to take all your threads and put them off towards the left. I'm going to make sure everything is good there. Okay. I'm going to actually cut. Okay. And now that I've got my 3 needles threaded, I'm going to start from fresh here. My left wiper, I'm going to put through the hole. You know, it's always operator error. But anyhow, I was saying that you need to thread your needles first because your needles are behind the wiper, so to speak. So it's much easier. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. Life happens as you, okay.
Especially when
So
somebody's watching.
I know, you know. And it was beautiful this morning, but I think I left something, the wipers in the wrong place or something. Anyway. Okay, so now my thread is going off to the left and this one's going off to the right. I'm going to set it back to serging because I set it to threading because I wanted my needle threaders to work. So I'm going to use a...
You want to pull these?
Huh?
You did before. You want to pull the threads as you did before?
Yes, so good point. You know, some of these threads can slip and slide down your down the spool and get caught. So you need to make sure that you watch for that. Okay, I'm going to cut my thread now. Yay! Oops. Okay. Well, I don't know what happened to me.
She's showing off today.
Oh, you know what happened? This is
Looper is broken.
My looper thread broke.
Yeah.
When that happened, so I'm going to set it back to threading. My stitches weren't locking, so let this be a lesson that things happen. And now I found that nothing locked, and it's because when I cut the threads here, my looper thread was cut and it unthreaded itself. So none of my stitching locked.
And that's the only thing that you really have to care about, the threading. That everything,
Yes.
all the threads are through its
So I started off
yeah.
on the left foot instead of the right, so to speak, with that saying. There we go. So my looper thread, when I cut it, we're good.
Good, baby.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm going slow. So now I can chain off. So yeah, I mean, luckily, did you see how fast I rethreaded that loop? I had it set up.
A few seconds.
So you see what happened? So I went from the classroom from demoing, I brought it in here. Something got jostled and then I didn't have this. So anyway, believe me, it works like a dream.
But it's good that these things happen because when you go home and check machines, you say, oh, my machine is not working. It's not that. It's maybe some thread is out of place.
Yeah, so I rethreaded my 3 needle threads. And then I rethreaded my 2 wipers, stitched. It didn't stitch. My stitches weren't locking. And it's because my looper thread, my chain looper, had broken when I had that little issue. So I just went back here, set it up for threading, pressed the button, threaded it through, and now it's locking my stitches, so everything's perfect. So it was like, I don't know, what do you call that? A big mistake on my part. It wasn't the machine.
It's part of the class. It's part of the class.
It's part of the class. You saw when you come into the store, we can all laugh about this because That's never happened to me, but luckily it's very easy to fix.
But
Let's just
look,
face it. It's a very easy function.
it's good to know that you need to thread your needles before the
yes,
but not the looper. The chain looper, you can thread it anytime.
you can thread it anytime. I've
what
just
you
got
just
one
did now.
looper going underneath. So,
Mhm.
but it when I cut it, unthreaded it, I had to rethread my looper, which I did.
Mhm.
So we have a comment. I hope it's good. So it looks like you have one layer of fabric. Is that what is recommended for this technique?
Oh.
So when you say the technique, you mean the stitch that I'm doing? You can stitch this on all kinds of fabric. I mean, if you want to do it on, when we were at BabyLock Tech, we did a hem on polar fleece. Oh my God, it was beautiful too. And because I was kind of testing the water a little bit and I wanted to do something different, if you can follow me, I took my polar fleece and I folded the hem to the top, to the right side, and I did my decorative stitching right along the edge, because with those red lines, I have a visual. And so my garment, so to speak, it wasn't a garment, but my sample ended up that I hemmed it to the front with decorative stitching, and it looked really nice.
And you can also do a quilting sandwich, right?
Yeah.
And do it on top with
And
layers of fabric.
So when you ask about the layers of fabric, they're bringing out a stitch in the ditch foot, left, right, and center, 3 different ones. So they know that we're going to use this for quilting. Mm-hmm. You can add this kind of decorative stitching to your quilt. So, and remember, this has a foot height of, I don't think I said this, of 6 millimeters, which is quite high. And I also on the end here have an adjustment for the pressure on my presser foot. So if something is very heavy and I need more than 6 millimeter, I can adjust this. I can either loosen it or tighten it, depending whether I'm going from chiffon to something really heavy or bulky. So it's a powerhouse. And of course, it's got your vertical needle penetration, which makes it, all the high-end BabyLock sergers have that. And it makes them very, very, almost commercial, I would say. It's a very strong machine and the penetration power is very strong. Do we have another question? Everybody's saying hello. Hello, everyone. Hello from Castleberry. So I'm going to go ahead and if we don't have any questions, I think you're all clear as to what happened to me. It's actually a good thing. This machine is selling very well all around the country. So if any of you have one, you saw, things can happen, but it's easy to fix. Okay. Yeah. So if we don't have any more questions, I'm going to hand it over to Nivia because she has quite a full schedule. And we're going to keep moving on here. So just 1 second. I'm going to move this out of the way. And we're going to remove one of the machines, right? Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm going to be talking about different kinds of hems and edgings on you can use for garments, for home decor, for you name it, sportswear. We're going to do elastic edgings. We're going to do lace edgings. So let's see how much time is going to go. So I'm going to keep going and showing things till time is off. So let's see.
Yeah. So what machine are you going to use first?
I'm going to use the Serger today.
The Victory?
We're going to use the Victory.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, while you're just setting that up, the Victory is BabyLock's 4-thread serger. So if you already own a Victory or an Acclaim, and you're one of those that you've really, really wanted a cover stitch, it's a great addition because then you have your serger and then you have your cover stitch that has a lot of room, whether it be the Euphoria or whether it be the Applaud. You have the space to the right of the needle, which with cover stitching is important because you can use cover stitch decoratively a lot. That's how I use it. Nivia's a garment maker, so we're good blend, so to speak, for Serger Club, because she's about garments. Of course, you do all kinds of stuff too.
I do,
but
like
I'm
to
more
play
about
around.
using
Yeah.
it decoratively and for bags and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're ready?
Okay, so first thing I'm going to show you, we're going to talk about elastic edges. So I'm going to show you two different ways to place your elastic. This one is the most used elastic edge, and we use it for swimwear, sportswear, underwear, you name it, anything that needs a good elastic edge. And on the other side, I'm going to show you how to do the binded. So it's a covered elastic, and you can use a contrast fabric on your project, which is, it's going to make a very elegant look. Talking about elastics, there are different kinds of elastic, and this is very important that you know about. We have the woven elastic, or no roll. This one is, I don't like to sew on top of it because it has some rubber inside. It's good for casings in your pants and things like that. So you make a casing and you insert it inside. Okay. The other kind would be the braided elastic, and you can see there's some ribs along on the length of the elastic. And as you pull the elastic, you're going to see that it gets narrower. Okay. You can sew on top of this one, but it's not as strong as the knitted one, which is the one I really like to use. Let me show you the swim. They made one for swimwear, which is the materials are made to prevent the chlorine from, damaging the elastic.
Oh my God!
But it's also a braid. It's a braided, so it gets narrow as it goes. I use it sometimes in areas like necklines or sleeves. But when I go to my leg openings, I really want to have something strong to hold. You don't like to be pulling your pants up and your panties or your swimwear up your buns. So for that reason, I usually use the knitted, this one. So as you pull the knitted, it keeps the same width, and it's very nice to sew on top of that. Okay, and this is the one we're going to use in our samples today. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm using a 3/8 of an inch wide elastic. Okay, and I'm going to use my serger with a 3-thread overlock wide. Okay, so my needle is on the left. I get it wide so it really grabs onto the elastic. My width on this material is going to be 6.5. So not too narrow, not too wide, 6.5. I find it's good. And my length is going to be the longest, which is 4. Stitch length 4. Okay, and then remember that with these machines, when you have the left needle, we want to have the stitch selector in A. Whenever you have your left needle, you put this on A. Okay, it can be 1 needle or it can be 2 needles, but if the left needle is there, you have to put it on A. All right, and what I'm going to do, let me see if I can raise this up a little bit. I'm much smaller than Pat, so I try to reach up here. I'm going to put the elastic on the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, and as I go, I'm going to put the blade of the serger along the edge of the elastic. I'm going to try not to cut the elastic, just the fabric. So I'll put it right there. I lower my presser foot. I'm going to give you a few stitches, hand turning my wheel. Okay, till I grab onto, I sink my needles inside the fabric. And I'm working sideways here. I'm trying to see what I'm doing. Okay, now I sunk my needle in the fabric. Okay, so everything's in place. It's holded, the elastic is already holding. It's holded, how do you say, held there. So I'm going to start pulling my elastic because my elastic is going to be smaller, shorter than the length of my fabric. And how sharp it depends on where you're going to put it, right? Anyway, I'm going to start pulling the elastic, and I'm going to help the machine because I'm stretching everything out. At the beginning, I pulled the tail of the threads back there, and now I'm going to keep pulling. Look at my left hand. I'm going to try to keep the fabric as flat as possible as I stretch. And see, I'm cutting just the fabric. And try not to cut the elastic. Okay, so I already have that elasticity on in the fabric. Now this time I'm going to turn it under into my wrong side, and I'm going to go to the awesome Euphoria machine. Oh, I love that machine. I do have it at home, and I really love it. The Euphoria machine is right here on my left. So I have, can you see me? Okay, so I have needles 1 and 2, which is the left and the center needles here. Again, the length, I'm going to keep it on 4, so it's the longest stitch because I'm working on stretch material. So I fold my elastic under, and now I'm going to stitch from the top, from the right side. Okay, so I'm going to place, and I'm going to see, sink my needles in. Okay, I'm going to look, see, and feel. I work a lot with feeling. And this is the fold. So the fabric has to go right along the edge of the fold, along the elastic, the edge of the elastic. And this is the left side of the elastic. I don't know if you can see it there. It's right there. And I'm going to put the left needle inside the elastic. Okay, I don't want to go too outside. So I'm looking at, what do I have here? So this is going to be my left needle, my right needle are inside the elastic. And I'm going to go, again, start pulling. Make sure the fabric is along the edge of the elastic, and I go. And I really need a long stitch because as it gathers, the stitches are going to look very small, actually. And see how I keep with my left hand, I keep my fabric flat, and with my right hand, I'm pulling the elastic down. Okay. And that's it. Where are we? Here. Okay, so that's it. The elastic is covered underneath, and my fabric looks pretty on the right side. You have the 2 lines. Some people just use the sewing machine with a zigzag stitch, but this is a professional way to go. Okay. Now let me work on the other side. I'm going to get the elastic. I'm going to go back to my serger. Sorry, girls, that I'm playing around. But this is the way I work at home. I like having my serger apart from my cover stitch. So I jump from my one machine to the other one. Okay, this time I'm going to get, this is going to be my contrast strip. I'm going to put my elastic on the wrong side of that strip. This strip, for the elastic, the 3/8 of an inch wide elastic, I've cut a 1 3/4 width of a strip. And of course, it's spandex. So everything is stretchy here. My length is 4. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut the fabric, but not the elastic as I go. But this time I'm not gonna stretch. Still not gonna stretch. I'm gonna keep it just there and go. Cut the fabric, but not the elastic. Okay, so I have a clean edge on this side. I cut my fabric and I have the elastic right at the edge of that strip. Now I'm going to get my fabric and I'm going to place right sides together on the fabric, and this time I'm really going to place that edges together. Okay, and this time I'm going to go into the sewing machine. So another jump here, if you excuse me. I have everybody jumping from side to side here. Okay, now you know that if you make a straight stitch on a spandex material, when you pull that material stretched, the threads can break. So we need some kind of zigzag. And our machines, that's good that BabyLock, even this Jubilant, which is one of our smallest machines, have that stretch stitch. And this Jubilant is stitch number 6, which is a very, very small, narrow zigzag. Okay, I'm going to make it long, though. I'm going to put it on 4, could be 3.5 or 4, depends. And I'm going to stitch along the left side of the elastic. Okay, I'm going to stitch just on the fabric, trying not to grab the elastic, not to stitch on the elastic. And let's see, I'm going to hand wheel this down. So you see, it's a very tiny zigzag, goes to the left, and especially when it goes to the right, I want it to go right along the edge of the elastic, but not get the elastic cut. Okay, now I have my needle down already, and now I'm going to start stretching. So I'm going to stretch as I go. Look here. So my left hand is going to keep that flat. I have to use all my octopus fingers here and do my little zigzag as I go along. Keep my fabrics as flat as possible. And sometimes, even though I have my elastic on top of the fabric, I want to peek a little hair of the fabric underneath, so I really know that it's grabbing onto it. Okay. Almost done. Okay, lift my needle with my presser foot and cut. Okay, so that's it. We have the elastic here, the strip, and the fabric. Now the strip is going to go, I'm going to fold it to the underside, to the wrong side. And this way I make my, what I call a binding, right? So I overlap that seam allowance. I want to encase all the seam allowance underneath inside that strip of material. And I'm going to use clips. You can use the wash away tape. I don't know if you know about this. This is the wash away wonder tape. It's a tape that it's a tape. You put it here, and then it's a double-sided, and it will hold everything in place. Okay. For now, and it washes out when you put it in water. So it's great. I love that, using that. And also we have our magic clips that whoever invented them did a good job for us. We use it all the time. So I'm going to fold that fabric and clip. Okay. Encase the seam inside and clip. Make sure that all those seams are hidden inside. And then I'm going to go into the cover stitch again to do that top seam. So as you see, lots of little clips. I really need to hold that down and make sure that, there. Make sure that all my seams are inside under that strip of fabric. Now I'm going to move to my cover stitch again. Again, having the needles 1 and 2. I can do it standing up, that's fine. Oh. No, put it on the, so I can, yeah. I'm just not going to sit. Okay, thank you. All right, so make sure that everything is inside, underneath there. And I'm going to place my left needle, like, let's say, like an 1/8 from the seam. An 1/8 from the seam. And now, since I start, I'm look at my, what do I have here as a guide? And I can see that my right edge of the foot is along that fold. So that's going to be a good guide. And here I have the lines, the guides for the needle. So this will be my left needle, and I want it right like an 1/8 inside that seam. Okay. Pull out, make sure that everything stays in. A good secret about these handling the spandex materials is how you work with your hands, right? You need to use all your fingers to hold everything down, because you're stretching and make it flat and pulling everything at the same time. And the good thing, as you see, I did not need to work with tensions at all. And we're done. Where are we? So we're done here. Okay, that's the top part. Underneath, I'll be underneath. If I have some extra that I need, I can cut those extra. I can cut that extra material here. Okay. Questions? Are we okay? Was the binding fabric a knit? Yes. Everything is knit here. It's a spandex. Okay. Now, let's work a little bit with ribbing, which is what you use on necklines and sleeves, right? Put this back here. Let me show you what we're going to do next. This is a neckline, right? So a ribbed neckline. This is ribbing fabric, or you can use ribbon, or you can use any stretchable material that has good stretch, lots of stretch. So as you can see, this has lots of stretch. right? And that's what we need along that edge. And my little piece here, already cut. I marked the center front. I marked the center front of the neckline. And I'm going to fold this in half. And I already make a little nip there in my center, right? On my center band. Now this time I'm going to work with 4-thread overlock stitch. So I'm going to add another needle, the needle on the right. And when you put needles together, make sure that they're all the same width. So I have a 12 needle here. I have to put a 12. Don't try to put different sizes because you can get in trouble. And I love using this little tool all the time to hold my needles when I change needles in my serger. For some reason, my fingers get slippery, and that gives me a good hold, my needles. So make sure that the needle is in the highest position so I can see it inside that window, and tighten my screw. Okay. Now this little machine is so easy to thread too. I'm going to get an extra spool of thread. For my right needle. I go up here. I'll click it here. And I'm going to go into the, into the needles. Now for the needles, I'm going to put green lines together on this machine. So that gets the needles in position for threading. Go here. Up and down in here. I'm going to thread my right needle so this turns to the right. Push. And like you do your sewing machine, it's pulled back as a loop. And that's it. Already threaded. Easy peasy. BabyLock made a good job with the threading, all the threading systems and threading the needles, threading the loopers. It's so easy. Okay, now it's ready to do as a 4-thread overlock. Okay, I still have the left needle, so my stitch selector is an A. Okay, even though I added another, I still have my left. So stitch selector on A, width 6.5. And length, I'm going to put it, I'm going to keep it on 4 because I'm stretching. Okay, so I have my neckline ready. I'm going to start at the shoulder up here and get all 3 layers. I have 3 layers here, the folded strip and the folded strip and the fabric. Okay. This is going to be difficult to see. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to start little by little till I get my needles down, sinking into the fabric. There, everything's in hold. Now I'm going to start pulling. And the thing is, I'm going to pull the top one, and I'm going to try, because I have a curve here, I'm going to try to make that curve straight along the edge of the fabric as I go. Okay? So see how I'm pulling? And I'm going to find my center mark, which is right here. Got it? Keep going. Center is done. I'm going to keep on pulling. And done. So that's my little neckline. And cut my tails off. There it is. Okay. Look how nice my neckline is already finished. I could go at this edge, I can make a straight stitch on my sewing machine, or better still, I can do a cover stitch, which is what I had in my sample here. You look here, I did a cover stitch with 2 needles out on top to keep that seam allowance down into the blouse or the shirt, the top, whatever we are doing. All right. Okay. Next technique, we're going to do some lace edge. I'm from Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico is a big thing. The heirloom, the heirloom sewing was big, or still is big. When babies are born, our tradition is to bring the babies home in beautiful garments, usually heirloom. So we're going to put some lace. This time I'm going to do white on white. You see how pretty, and it's very easy with the serger. Now this time I'm going to remove the left needle. I'm going to work with the right needle because I want a narrow stitch. So let me remove the left. As you saw, I still haven't cut my thread. I kept my thread there because it's holding into my needle. Easier for me not to lose the needle as I go. Now I can cut. Raise my presser foot and pull that left thread out. Okay. So I have a 3-thread overlock now, which is going to be narrow. Okay. I'm also going to change my foot. I'm going to get my lace. Let's see, lace applicator foot. Okay. This one has a kind of a guide here where it's going to prevent the lace to be cut. And I'll show you how it's done. Have to wiggle the foot around till it gets it. Come on, baby. It's a very tight grip. There. Okay. Threads under the presser foot. Back there. Okay. This time I'm going to work with a narrow. Remember, I removed the left needle. Oh, I think we have a comment. Yes. For what garment application is the elastic binding technique you showed last on the red dot fabric? Okay. So I have like when you do swimsuits or whatever, you can put a contrast material on top, and we have a swimsuit somewhere that we can get the sample. I'll show you in a minute when they bring it in. It makes a beautiful, elegant finish on the stretch material. You'll see. I'll show you as soon as she brings it in. Okay, so this has a guide, and we're going to it's going to be right sides together. So my fabric, I have my right side up under the presser foot, okay? And the lace, we have here, let me show you the elastic. So look at this swimsuit. You see, in the legs, I used the first technique I showed you. Can you see it? This is the first technique I showed you. It goes in the legs and the openings of the legs. So the elastic is completely hidden inside. And then top of the neckline, look how pretty. The contrast fabric with the second technique that I showed you. It's also in the back. Look here. How pretty. So there's 2 different options. that you can use. You can use that also in your legs if you want to. So it's up to you. I gave you the techniques. Now you create. Yeah, thank you. Bye, baby. Okay, back to the lace. Now I'm going to get this a narrow stitch. Actually, I'm going to put it like on 6. I'm going to get the stitch length on 2.5 or 2. Okay. And this, because I don't have the left needle anymore, I'm going to put it on B. Okay, when you have the right needle, you can either use B, C, or D. And I'll show you C and D later. So I'm going to put it on B. The fabric is going to go under the foot, and the lace, let me find the right side. That's the right side. Right side down along the guide. Along the guide. So this is going to prevent the lace from cutting, the blade from cutting the lace. Okay. Let me make sure that I have it in place back there. And lower my foot. I always start with my hand a little bit. Make sure that I'm not cutting anything out of the way. And I think I'm in place now. Okay. And there. So I'm putting, as you see, I'm putting the lace a little inside the edge of the fabric. My blade is going to cut the extra fabric that I have there. And I'm stitching down both layers. Look how pretty and narrow and pretty it is. Now when I open my lace, hey, it's there. Okay, look, that's the inside. That's the inside. I can press this under with my iron, right? And that would be my right side. Look how pretty. This is, the lace is completely seen with no seams inside. And over here, you can either straight stitch on top, or you can use one of those heirloom stitches that most of the machines have with a wing needle, or, you know, you can do anything on here to keep that seam on that side, on the left. Okay? Very pretty, very elegant heirloom technique. Questions? Are we okay? All right. Do we still have time? No? Are we done? Okay.
You still have something else you want to
We were gonna do the rolled edge. Oh, let me show the lettuce. That's the lettuce edge, which is quite and quick. So lettuce edge.
Yeah, because that's a really nice finish.
Yeah.
Very nice finish.
Yeah, this is the lettuce edge. So again, with a very stretchable material. Look how cute the stretch. And what we're going to do here, I'm going to put this on D, which is a rolled edge. Okay, I'm going to put this on 3, and I'm going to get this down to the smallest stitch, would be actually right below number 1. Okay, and also going to put the differential on 6, which is going to stretch my material. And that's it. I'm going to go through, change my lace foot, of course. Put the regular foot.
So you put your differential feet all the way down.
All the way down
to
stretch the material. Yes. Put it there. And just go. You can use stretch thread in your upper looper, which gives it a very nice, look. Satin finish.
a time when you can go fast.
Look how easy.
Yeah.
And that's it. Done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice. It's nice for a little girl.
Oh, yeah.
Little girl's outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And you were going 1,500 stitches a minute.
Yeah, I like speed.
Yeah, I know,
Okay.
I see that.
All right.
There are times when you can go fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because machine is doing everything so easy. So
Oh, we have
Yeah.
a new comment.
could you use the lace with the elastic applications to prevent the elastic from getting cut?
You know, I have heard people say that they use the lace foot for other
things, yeah. I think that's a good idea.
So,
Yeah.
So sometimes I feel like, yeah, some of the feet should be renamed or
Mhm.
have addition to it, because
Of
you
course.
can use
Mhm,
it
mhm.
for other projects or other stitches.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, I'm just so used to do it by hand, but yes, the lace foot, I think it will work very nicely on that. Good point.
Do we
Yeah.
have any more comments?
Okay, so
We answered, could you use it? Yeah.
all right.
I think we're good.
We're
Wow,
good.
that was a lot of great information, Nivia.
Mhm.
Very nice.
Okay,
And of
thank you.
course, the Victory, a great machine. Any of you who have that machine, it's if you're going to invest in one serger for the rest of your life, that would be the one,
The
right?
Victory is a great
if you're happy,
small machine.
you just
Yes.
want a 4-thread serger. Yeah, it's a fabulous machine.
If you wanted a bigger machine, you have the Acclaim, which is a little bigger, but you know,
And
good machines. Both of them are very
Yeah.
good machines.
So yeah, we have the whole lineup. So make sure, give us a call if you have any questions or interested in the BabyLock Serger or the Applaud. Come by and see us, and don't forget the code for shopping on our website. It's Serger15. Regular price fabrics and notions. We have a lot of great stuff on there right now.
Mhm.
So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.